All right, welcome. Today, we're taking a full 360-degree look at the AI revolution. And I mean all of it. We're going to peel back the layers, from the crazy power plays happening in the boardrooms, all the way down to the actual physical hardware that's driving what is, let's be honest, a modern-day gold rush. So yeah, let's get right into it.
You know, this quote from TechCrunch really cuts right to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? We have these unbelievably powerful AI systems being built at just a breakneck speed, but the rulebook is still being written, pretty much in real time. It's kind of like the Wild West, a high-stakes, unregulated frontier. And that's exactly where our story kicks off.
So let's start at the very top of the stack with what we're calling the governance gauntlet. I mean, think about it. This is the massive struggle to create a set of rules for a game that is changing literally every single day. And there's no referee in sight.
So on one side, you have all the big AI labs making these grand promises, right? Pledging to be responsible, to prioritize safety. But then you look at the other side, at reality, and you see this fierce, intense competition for total dominance. We're seeing public fights over safety, companies using government regulations to try and, well, kneecap their rivals. It's messy. It's a really, really high-stakes game.
And as you can see here, that battlefield is getting pretty crowded. It all starts with the big names like OpenAI and Anthropic, who are under a microscope for their safety promises. But it's getting so much bigger. Now you have major government players, like the Department of Defense, getting deep in the mix, deploying AI in super-sensitive, classified areas. And check out this last point, supply chain risk. That's the new corporate buzzword for, hey, how can we get our competitor blacklisted? The stakes are just getting incredibly high.
But while all the lawyers and the lobbyists are fighting it out in Washington and in the boardrooms, you've got the researchers in the labs, just quietly building the next generation of AI. And the pace of innovation here, it's not just fast, it is accelerating into territory that was, just a few years ago, complete science fiction.
For a long time, one of the huge goals in AI research has been making it explainable. The whole idea behind XAI is basically to pop open the hood on these really complex systems so that we, the humans, can actually understand how they're making decisions. You know, it's all about building trust and being transparent.
Okay, but here's the twist. Just as we're all starting to get a handle on XAI, the top researchers are already moving past it. This quote from a recent paper pretty much says it all. They're finding all these limitations in our current approach. They're basically saying, yeah, that was a good first step, but we need to think way, way bigger. The frontier just keeps on moving.
And a huge piece of what's next is the rise of something called AgenticAI. Now, these are not your friendly neighborhood chatbots. We are talking about AI systems that can plan, that can remember, that can use tools all by themselves to get complex jobs done. Think of it this way. These are AIs that can do things, not just say things. And these are the very systems that make that whole governance debate we just talked about so incredibly urgent.
And this right here is just a fantastic example of how this isn't some abstract academic idea. Researchers are already applying these advanced AI systems to really specific, real-world problems. I mean, we're talking about everything from helping teenagers figure out complex family health issues all the way to optimizing snowplow routes. The applications are becoming so tangible and, honestly, they're pretty amazing.
So you have this intense governance debate happening up here and this mind-bending research happening over there. But all of it has to run on something real. It needs a physical foundation. And that brings us down to the bottom layer of the stack, the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush, the hardware.
And right now, when you talk about AI hardware, there's really one name that just dominates the entire conversation: NVIDIA. And they're not just selling chips anymore. No, they are building the entire ecosystem, the data centers, the networks, the whole physical backbone that this next generation of AI is going to be built on. And they're putting some serious cash behind this ambition. I mean, just look at this. $2 billion into a company called Lumentum, another $2 billion into Coherent. Now these companies, they make the super high-speed optical components that are basically the autobahns for AI data. So NVIDIA is pretty much buying up all the on-ramps to the AI future.
Their strategy, as you can see, is really multi-layered. It's kind of like a three-pronged attack. It starts at the foundation with that state-of-the-art optics tech we just mentioned. Then they move up the stack to create wireless networks that are AI native from the get-go. And finally, they're partnering up globally to build the next generation of wireless, 6G, on open and secure platforms. They are literally building the future of connectivity from the ground up.
And of course, as these incredibly powerful new AI agents come online, a whole new ecosystem of tools is just springing up to manage them. This is just a little snapshot of the kinds of startups that are popping up to help us all build, control, and deploy these new systems. It just goes to show you the AI gold rush isn't just about the big players. It's creating a whole new frontier for entrepreneurs and builders.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground, right? We've gone through the governance, the research, and the infrastructure. So now let's pull it all together and get that 360-degree view that we promised at the start.
This table really brings it all home. At the very top, you've got that whole governance mess. And for you, that means a lot of market uncertainty and regulatory risk. In the middle, you have the researchers who are just cranking out these unbelievable new AI capabilities. And then, holding it all up, you have the hardware layer, where these massive investments are happening. It really shows that in this new AI gold rush, maybe the safest bet is on the folks selling the picks and shovels.
And that brings us to our final question, and it might be the most important one of all. As we get better and better at building machines that can decide things for us, are we actually getting any better at deciding what really matters? It's a huge question, and one worth wrestling with. What do you think?